We have Tenille Townes on Pure Country. How are you?
I'm good. How are you today?
I'm good. I am like when I say I have literal goosebumps when I talk about this or think about this happening for you, I can't even handle it. So, Tenille Townes, I can't even imagine what you're going through, but you have a song with Bryan Adams.
Yeah, I can't honestly just hearing that sentence out loud. It's like, right, this is real. This is happening. And it's so insane to me. It really, really is. I can't even. The whole story of how that this came to be is just a part of the reason that I'm just continually blown away by this situation. So I'm so sorry. My dog is, there is someone pressure washing in the neighbor's yard over there, and he's not a fan of that.
I
So.
love it. Honestly, there's a good chance you're going to hear a child at some point too. So I understand. I feel like just from what I've, watched your videos of you talking about this song and how it happened, it's the most Tenille Townes way of this collaboration coming together. When I saw you, like, I wrote him a letter. I'm like, only Tenille would think to do that. So how did this happen? Because it did not happen in the most usual way of musical collaborations coming together.
It really did not. And this whole story has truly proven like if you have a crazy wild thought of something happening, you should just go for it and take the crazy shot because you never know how it might turn out. It might turn out that Bryan Adams ends up singing on one of your songs. So I was in Vancouver. We were filming for this Hallmark movie and we recorded the music for it at the Warehouse Studio, which is owned by Bryan Adams. And there were so many happenstance things that occurred during this whole story, but one of them was that he happened to be in Vancouver on the same day that we were recording the music. So,
God.
and we happened to like enter and leave the building at the exact right moment where we were both like coming, we met on a staircase. And I just was like, oh my God, this is Bryan Adams. Like, I'm freaking out. I was so excited and got to just thank him for his music. And he gave us like a 2-minute tour around the studio. And then we kind of like went on our way. But I was so fired up after meeting him and just felt so inspired being in this space he's created for people to come and gather around music and create music. And I was like, man, I want to put this on the vision board to have a studio like that someday. And also I was like, I'm going to do a song with Bryan Adams one day. Like, how crazy would that be?
Why not?
Why not? And so I'm like, we get back to the hotel. I'm in the elevator. I'm like, I know exactly the song I would do. And so the next week, my band and I like recorded a version of this song just for the sake of the pipe dream. And I was like, guys, we're doing this, and I'm gonna send this to Bryan, and I'm just gonna see
I
what.
love how you're like, you call him Bryan now because you're that close.
Well, anyways, in my like manifesting heart, I really was
Yes.
like, this is happening. So I wrote him a letter. I burnt the CD and like had an arts and crafts session like putting it together. I was in a rush, running late somewhere, but I was like, you know what? I gotta stop by FedEx. I gotta send this in the mail today, and I'm so glad I did because he was still the only contact I had was that address at the studio. So I sent it to the studio, and he happened to get it and somehow chose to listen to it. And 2 days later, he like emailed me and said he'd absolutely love to sing on the song. And now here we are, and it's out in the world. So
My brain is like exploding. I can only imagine that he was probably so refreshed to have someone actually write a letter and send a CD. He was probably like, thank goodness there is still people in the world that do things like, because that is really how it used to happen and how things used to kind of come together. Now it's like, hey, can we get a hold of Bryan Adams' manager and make a phone call? It's like it is such a perfect way, I feel like, of the two of you coming together.
or an email or whatever the case may be. But I always love it. People send me like I have a card sitting on my desk right now that's from this sweet girl named Pippa that I met at a show in Texas, and she like writes me letters and draws me little pictures, and it's my favorite thing to get in the mail. And I've always loved writing out things by hand because I've done that ever since I was a kid. Like my mom and my whole family was like, we that's just what you do is you write people a letter. So it's a little old fashioned, but it definitely worked out, I think, in this favor. So
I would say so. I love that. Even though we live really close together, can we be pen pals? I want to start
let's do
writing.
it. I'll send
Okay.
you a note.
don't, I'm like, I love writing. We're gonna do that actually. You know what? We're gonna be pen pals now.
That sounds
Um,
like fun.
so how, once you had sent the letter, he wrote you back, he said, I listened to it, I want to be a part of it. Then what happens? Do you guys record it together? Do you get to make a video? What's the next steps in this
It
incredible story?
it was a wild adventure over several months of like, okay, he had some ideas for writing some new things with the song, and then he sent us some guitar parts, and like he is constantly on the road, and so was I at the time. We were like conversing from Australia, and like I don't even know where in the world he was, but somewhere in Europe, and we're like sending files back and forth. And he like brings a studio rig with him on the road at all times, so he was just like constantly working at it. And he would FaceTime me, which always like made my heart beat a million miles an hour, and we would like converse about what he was recording and sending stuff back and forth. And I'm so grateful for the mentorship and friendship that kind of struck up in that process. And then we did get to shoot a video, which was so cool. So I got to meet him again, not on a staircase, in 2 minutes, and we like he shot the video and directed it, and did an incredible job. So it was really, really special to get to like have that moment together visually, after all these months of sort of leading up to this with the song. So can't
So
wait for everybody
cool.
to see it.
I can't wait either. So the thing that wrecks you, what was it about this song when you had that moment of like, one day I'm going to have a song with Bryan Adams, and you know what? Hey, it's this one. What was it about that song?
He's just got this quality to his voice that like literally does wreck you, honestly. And it's got this edge to it that's truly like no other vocal, I think, on the planet. And when I was thinking about like a song that would have the right sort of emotion and that sort of a little bit of tension, that I think could be a really cool duet, this song came to mind. And it's a song I've always wanted to make a version of. I actually wrote this a while ago, so I was very excited to get to do a rendition of this song, and was like, what the heck, let's just see if he'll join.
So, so, so good. We have, of course, the Pure Country world premiere of The Thing That Wrecks You from Tenille Townes and Bryan Adams. What do your parents think of this happening? Because your parents are the sweetest humans, and they just obviously are lifelong fans of yours and have watched this whole dream unfold. What was their reaction when you're like, hey, mom and dad, Bryan Adams is doing a song with me?
They were very excited. They're hardcore Bryan Adams fans. We
Okay.
always have like listened to his music growing up and everything. So they were really pumped, and also they were pumped because my dad has done that a lot. Like he wrote a letter to a water ski coach when he was a teenager, and was like, I want to be a national water skiing guy, and like, can I come and train with you? And like he has so many stories of like asking crazy questions because you just never know what might happen. And I grew up watching that, so it really seemed quite normal just to be like, I'm gonna write a letter just from watching some of that in my life. So it was really cool to get to share that story of being like, thanks for telling me that's a good thing to do, because this really worked out on this in this case.
So cool. I hope that everyone listening, I hope this inspires you, because it's inspiring me right now to like just take the chance. Because why not? What's the worst that could happen? They say
That's
no, and at
right.
least you shoot your took your shot.
Take your shot, and maybe it takes you to the next shot, and it's just part of the whole adventure, even if it doesn't work out the way that you picture that it might. So yeah, it's been a wild adventure from this song, and it's been a good reminder that you just never know what can happen.
So cool. Okay, before we go, obviously this is a huge bucket list moment in your life and your career. Anything else coming up this year, shows or anything that you're also maybe crossing off some bucket list items?
Yeah, we're really excited to be heading out. We've got a spring edition of the Side A and B tour in some US cities, and some of these are our first time getting to headline in some of these places. So that's a really cool bucket list for me, to kind of gather a community of people around these shows that we've maybe opened up for some of our heroes in these cities. And it's like to see who we might have made some friends with kind of come around the show for the first time is really exciting. So looking forward to that, and more travels throughout the year of being on the road, and really excited to keep working on some of this new music that I'm writing and recording right now, and can't wait to share more of that very soon. So just
Well,
in the process of all those things.
If it is anything like this new song with Bryan Adams, The Thing That Wrecks You, I think we are going to be very, very, very happy with what comes this year.
Well, good.
All
Thank
right. Well,
you for all
congratulations,
your support.
girl. Holy moly. I'm just so excited for you. And the song is amazing. And I just can't wait. Let me know when you guys are performing it live in person because I will be in the front row.
Thank you for that. Gosh, so will I. I'll be losing my mind for that.
Yeah.
Thanks
Awesome.
for thanks for lifting up this song, and thanks to everybody out there listening to it. Appreciate you guys.
All right. Tenille Townes on Pure Country. Go listen over and over to The Thing That Wrecks You with Bryan Adams. Thanks, girl.